The main word that we are receiving from veterinarians this morning is that Barbaro is resting comfortably. Nobody anticipated their vacation vessel would run aground. Police don't know the name of the man Sandy was dating at the time of her death. They had only been out on 2 dates, but friends believe he is the man who killed her, and no one knows his identity. And that could very well be the key here, synthetic testosterone. More on that in just a second, but first, this year's focus is more on the fun contest. That's why instead of a parade, there's a rowdy promenade around the block. Kristen, the wind here is so strong, it's making it kind of hard to stand here on the boardwalk, where official wind gusts topping more than 70 miles per hour. This is a patio chair from one family's backyard. The shooting happened on this street, literally just about 100 steps from City Hall and police headquarters. There is a feeling of relief, but there is still a sense of sorrow. 4 families in all were displaced. The 12 Atlantic City casinos have already just slowly started to reopen. I'm going to stay here along the side of the Schuylkill River. That's the latest. Back to you. Tonight, while detectives are working what very few leads they have available, there is a somber memorial, a small tribute for Sarah Boone, a cross, a teddy bear, even some roses, reminding residents of a brutal murder and a killer on the loose.
It was definitely surprising. I got a call yesterday from my fiance, and I couldn't believe it. When I got back here at 11, there were cop cars and every...
Jason Sundberg lives across the street from where Sarah Boone was beaten and stabbed. Her body discovered Thursday afternoon. Now a makeshift memorial of stuffed animals and flowers laying on the grass outside the catering company where the 24-year-old worked. Also Saturday, carpenters were repairing the door to the apartments above, but they wouldn't say why. Stunned residents in Ardmore say this is a quiet neighborhood and never expected anything like this to happen.
Not at all. Not out here. No, we, as I said, we had moved out here for the sole purpose of a safe, secure community with young kids.
She was a wonderful person. She was innocent. She was sweet. She didn't deserve this.
We spoke to Sarah's mom Friday. Saturday, she says the family is doing as well as can be expected. Memorial arrangements now finalized. A viewing is scheduled for Tuesday night in Newtown Square. Sarah's funeral will be Wednesday morning in Broomall, with her burial to follow. As police this weekend continue their search for a killer, a heartbroken family now must plan to say their final goodbye.
If anybody has any information, please come forward and help us with this.
And if you have any information, as Sarah's mother requests, please contact the Lower Marion Township Police Department. Pretty much everyone was just scared from what happened today.
The trains were smashed into each other.
15-year-old Stephanie Harris was heading to a concert at Penn's Landing. Instead, she got a bloody nose and lip and a trip to the emergency room. She was on board this train Saturday afternoon when it collided head-on with another SEPTA train. Many more passengers were thrown from their seats.
The train just stopped, and then I smacked my face off the bar in front of me, and the power went out. And everyone was just trying to figure out what was going on.
People were just in shock. I mean, a lot of people didn't know what was going on.
Nearby homeowners rushed in to help as paramedics with stretchers treated 30 injured passengers. A majority were taken to Abington Memorial Hospital with bumps and bruises, and most were released throughout the evening. As the sun set on the R2 rail line, SEPTA engineers worked frantically to figure out if signals or equipment malfunctioned or if human error is to blame. Besides the crash investigation, another top priority is fixing the tracks which were damaged in the collision. SEPTA wants to get this line up and running again as soon as possible.
Obviously, both of those trains shouldn't have been in the same place at the same time, and that will be the heart of the investigation.
Meantime, Stephanie will be nursing her nose, and she says it'll be a while before she boards a train again.
Yeah, it was a big crash.
Now, because those tracks, those rails are being repaired right now as we speak, we have some passenger information to pass along for those folks traveling between the Glenside and the Warminster station. Here at the Glenside, for example, there are buses waiting to ferry passengers to their final destinations as well. Buses will be at the Warminster station, the train station as well. Today's anti-violence meeting held inside this church behind me. 100 people showed up, all of them believing guns are the problem and individual people are the solution.
And the guy put the gun to my head and he demanded the money.
Hattie Staton was robbed at gunpoint working in North Philadelphia, and her daughter was once shot in the leg. She knows the effects of gun violence, and she's encouraging these Germantown residents to do whatever they can to help lower Philly's crime rate.
Point blank, it's the weapons. It's also...
Ruth Donnelly's son Justin was stabbed to death by a stranger 5 years ago. Just this Tuesday, her son's killer was sentenced to life in prison. Her 19-year-old, not the victim of gunfire, but his killer, was on parole for a weapons charge and killed again months later, the second time using bullets instead of a blade. She says young adults have no need for 9mm.
Why do they need a gun? You could even buy a gun cheaper than a cell phone.
The city's skyrocketing murder rate prompting these homeowners to sign petitions for stricter gun laws and volunteer for community watches. This teenager is more into graphic design than guns. Should there be more kids your age here? You're the only one.
Yeah, well, there should be a whole lot of them listening to this message because they need to know how gun violence is affecting their community, how it's impacting their lives, and how they should stay out of trouble.
And specifically to keep teenagers out of trouble, parents were given these pamphlets to pass along to their kids at home, specifically on how they can sign up for after-school activities. The parkway was pink this Mother's Day as tens of thousands strapped on their sneakers and bundled up baby for the 16th annual Race for a Cure.
I don't know anyone really affected by breast cancer, but I didn't want to wait until that changed. I wanted to do something just to show my support of women, and what better day than on Mother's Day.
First, the serious runners, then the casual walkers. Breast cancer has hit Carla Graham's family 3 times. 2 aunts are survivors, and she's honoring another loved one Sunday.
My cousin, Conchetta Jones. She just died March the 3rd of this year.
The goal today at the Race for the Cure is to raise $3 million, and 75% of the funds raised is going to stay right here to help women in the Delaware Valley.
Wanted to come out in memory of my friend Joan Casey.
But to catch more cancers and to save more lives, money is critically needed for breast cancer research and treatment. 40 regional hospitals will benefit from this year's event. Breast cancer survivors say education and early detection, though, is just as critical.
So I had a mammogram, and they found the mammogram, the lump in my breast, and then I had both of them removed because the prior years I had a problem. My family is the most supportive. So.
During today's walk, there have been many tears, but they are tears of hope. Hope that someday soon a cure will be discovered. Along the parkway, I'm NBC 10's Alex Hayes for the WB17 News at 10.